I was traveling from New York, which is where I lived, to go to Nashville for work. She was leaving New York for work, going home to Nashville, and we just happened to get put next together or sit next to each other on the same flight.
My seat got upgraded and I was exhausted from the weekend and exhausted from working. And then I sat down and I could tell he was looking at me and wanting to talk to me, and I was like, I just don't have time for this.
I started the conversation with her, as soon as she sat down. I was obviously very taken back. She's a very attractive, beautiful woman. So I had to pick my time. I had to pick exactly when to go in because I knew I would not have two shots at it, so I wanted to make sure everything was right. So the stewardess came around to ask us for what we wanted to drink. She was drinking wine. I don't drink wine. But I used that as an opportunity to say, oh, how is the wine? And that's kind of how we started talking, and then, we said some funny things back and forth and ended up talking the remainder of the flight and then exchanging numbers at the end of the flight.
I was not interested at all, but then I was in New York a couple weeks later.
She reached out to me and said, hey, I happen to be in New York. Are you around? I'd love to kind of catch up and see, or, go from there. I happen to be down at my shore house, so it's like near the beach, and I try and get down there every weekend, especially in the summer.
I went there, he had somebody pick me up and bring me there.
Like right after she had like a glass of champagne, she realized I'm not a weirdo, so to speak. We went and we spent the day on the beach together. After that, we went to dinner, and I think at dinner, I kind of was like, hey, she's a really nice girl. She's a really cool girl, down to earth, likes kids, gets it. She's not self-absorbed.
He was just a perfect gentleman and so sweet, and we had a great time. And I came back to Nashville, and I kept thinking about him, and he called me and asked me out on a date, a real date.
I think it was basically around the same time I told her I loved her, a year later. She seems to have a little bit of a different story of when that happened.
Yeah, I have to go to England last minute. And I said, oh, I have that week open. He's like, yeah, I will, leave. Okay, I don't know if you can come with me, we'll see. We flew to England at 8:30 at night and arrived at 8 a.m. in the morning. I figured maybe he would do something that weekend, but I really thought he had work to do. This wonderful English butler comes, he starts driving us around, and I'm getting car sick. And then we pull up to Buckingham Palace, and I said, yes, I need to get out. He's like, let's get out. And I said, yes, okay. He said, take some pictures, and I took pictures, and then I saw him on the ground behind me. And he was on one knee, and it was all just kind of a blur after that. He's an amazing, amazing man. He is a great brother, a great son, a great friend.
Not nervous, no butterflies. She is a fantastic woman who constantly puts other people in front of her and her needs. She's tremendous support for her dad and her mother, and takes care of them, and is constantly concerned about her family and friends before herself. I think she's an amazing woman, and I think I'm a very, very lucky guy that I found her.
I, Anthony.
I, Anthony.
Take you, Jocelyn.
Take you, Jocelyn.
To be my wife.
To be my wife.
I promise to be faithful to you.
Promise to be faithful to you.
In good times and in bad.
In good times and in bad.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love you.
To love you.
And honor you.
And honor you.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
And Jocelyn. I, Jocelyn.
I, Jocelyn.
Take you, Anthony.
Take you, Anthony.
To be my husband.
To be my husband.
I promise to be faithful to you.
I promise to be faithful to you.
In good times and in bad.
In good times and in bad.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love you.
To love you.
And honor you.
And honor you.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
They did it. So I just want to introduce to you for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Anthony and Jocelyn Callan.
little girl watches princess movies and reads the fairy tales and everything like that, and you get told life is not a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm living in a real life fairy tale, so.